Good day, everyone. Welcome to Journey and Awakening of the Anointed with Mr. Buzz, the channel of truth and authenticity. And if you like that sort of stuff, I never know what I'm going to talk about. I talk about just about everything from religion to politics to world events, you name it. Lots of demonic activity that I witness every day. I will talk about just about anything, and you can make requests, leave a comment. If you have a certain topic you'd like me to cover, no problem. If I know anything about it, I will. And if you do me a favor and smash that like button for me, makes things a lot better for the algorithm for me, and will help my channel get out to more people. So, let's talk about the media. One of my least favorite things in the world is the mainstream media. But one of my absolute favorite things of the last while is the independent media that has risen up around the mainstream media, because the mainstream media sucks so bad and upset everybody so much. They insulted everybody and they lied to everybody continuously. I mean, COVID really destroyed all credibility that they may have had, which in my opinion they didn't have any anyway, not for many years. But COVID completely crushed all of the mainstream media's credibility. They're left with none right now. Okay, no one believes the mainstream news anymore, and they cry and whine about it. I think it's really funny in the United States. Even though I'm a Canadian, I think I watch more American stuff than I do Canadian stuff, because to be honest, Canadian stuff is generally boring. Especially Canadian politics, it's embarrassing, actually. So people from other countries watch our parliament, they must go, whoa, what a bunch of backwards morons in that frozen shithole country, which I have to agree with. It's ridiculous. Our politics it's a joke. It's not even worth taking seriously. But I feel the same way about the States too. Actually, it is a joke, and it's not legitimate. It's just a fake system that serves the elites and screws everyone else. But at least it's interesting to watch in the States, where it's really not in Canada. It's just totally boring. So we have, of course, Donald Trump, and we had Kamala Harris. Battled it out for President of the United States. What I find so amusing is the mainstream media, basically the leftist media. Okay, so this wasn't all the media. This was mainly just the leftist mainstream media, like CNN and NBC and CBS, ABC. All them guys, they spent, I was going to say months, but years insulting everybody. Okay, calling people unintelligent, racists. And they went on and 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 on. Well, do you know what happens? I mean, the Democrats themselves were doing this too. They're calling everybody racists. And then when Donald Trump won in a landslide, he had the popular mandate and everything. He really cleaned up. It's a red wave, as they say. Well, what do the journalists do? They go right live in the air and do the same thing again. They say, well, America must be racist and unintelligent because they voted for... So they just keep insulting everybody. It's like these people had a right to vote for who they wanted to, and they did. That's the whole purpose of a democracy, is so you can vote for the one you want, okay? And if people don't like who you vote for, too damn bad. It's a democracy. That's how it goes. Actually, the States is not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic, is what it's supposed to be. It's actually a corporation. So it's not even either of those things, but it's actually a corporation. But it's structured as a constitutional republic, is the kind of structure they have. Excuse me. So we have all these journalists insulting everybody 24/7. Then all of a sudden, the ratings plummet. And they can't understand why. You just insulted over half the country. You called them racist. You called them stupid. I mean, now you want them to keep watching your show and support you. It's hilarious what happened to them. CNN just went down the tubes. So did NBC. So did all of them. They just completely lost it. No wonder. You can't insult your entire audience and expect to maintain it. It blew my mind, like, to watch them do it. And then they didn't understand why their ratings were so bad. The View is a show that does that too. They insult everybody, but then they expect good ratings. They want people to keep watching even though they're being insulted. You know, eventually, people are going to get sick of being insulted and called stupid and called racists. Justin Trudeau did the same thing here in Canada. He called everybody that was involved in the trucker convoy a racist and misogynist and insulted everybody. Then when it's time to go to the polls, well, there's a lot of people you call racist and misogynist that definitely ain't going to vote for you. I mean, you just insulted them all. Ooh, my cats are wound up. So what has sprung up because of this? The independent media, okay? And we have some mainstream media people like Tucker Carlson who got fired from Fox, and then, okay, fine, I'll just go on my own. I'm famous enough, and he is. He's been a journalist for a long time, really well-known one of the best-known ones. So he just started his own thing. He's got the Tucker Carlson Network, and he's just rocking. He's doing really well. He's probably doing better than he ever did. And he's not following any agenda. He's not bowing down to any overlords. He is speaking truth. And that's all he's speaking. Whatever the truth is, that's what he's after. Yeah, they're a little wound up. Then we got the couple from Redacted, Clayton and Natalie Morris. Two more mainstream journalists for years. One was on CNN, I think, and the other one was on NBC, I believe. They both left that because they couldn't handle the bull and the lion and all the deceit that goes on with journalists. They couldn't handle it. They're not into telling lies on there. They want to tell the truth. So they left and started their own thing. They're also rocking it. They're just doing probably better than they ever did. This is the way to go. Independent media. Then you don't have anyone to answer to. You don't have anyone saying, look, Pfizer is giving us this much money every year. We have to say this and have to do this. They don't have to do anything but, well, they have to please their own sponsors, whoever they choose to have as sponsors. If they don't believe in a sponsor, they don't have to take it on, right? They don't believe in Pfizer, so don't let Pfizer sponsor them. Have someone else sponsor them. They still get sponsors. This thinking that you need Big Pharma to keep you going. I mean, Big Pharma has the most money, yes. They can really keep you going. They can bribe you good. But then you're selling your soul because you're spewing their garbage, which, I mean, people die because of that, right? If you're a journalist out there spewing their garbage, you're killing people. You're literally, people are dying because of the advice you're giving that you know is bogus, that you're only giving because you've been paid to, and you've been warned by your boss. This is what you say. This is how you say it. That's not a real journalist. That's a mouthpiece. That's a puppet. So the independent media is really changing things, because now the mainstream media knows that the independent media is always out there telling the truth. So people actually have a way to find out what the truth is, and then they won't be as willing to listen to the garbage that the mainstream media has been spewing out for years. They had no competition before. They could say whatever and people would believe it. It's on the news, got to be true. There was no one else to refute it. Well, now we got independent media everywhere. It's taken over. It's not, I mean, even Alex Jones, people can say what they want about Alex Jones. Who's the one that predicted pretty much every single thing that happened in the last 20 years? It's actually Alex Jones and David Icke, the two people that everyone likes to call crazy conspiracy theorists and everything. Sorry, they're the ones that knew exactly what was coming down and actually predicted it accurately. Donald Trump's the other one. He predicted 9/11. He predicted all kinds of stuff. Way back in the early 2000s, he knew about stuff that just happened in the last 5 years. So these guys are not crazy conspiracy theorists. They're very well informed, independent journalists who don't answer to anybody and therefore can speak truth. Okay, it's got to be mainstream to be true. it's the opposite of that. If it's mainstream, there's an agenda. If it's independent, there's no agenda. It's likely the truth. So I don't know where everybody get this idea that that's just a shady fringe network. The word fringe is so funny. Fringe just means not mainstream. That's all it means. And if something is fringe, I'm 200 times more likely to listen to it than the mainstream bull that CNN and NBC and all of them have been pulling for years. And here in Canada, we have CTV and Global News and CBC, the worst of all. Unbelievable that anybody listens to CBC. They are communists who support nothing but trans and gay people all the time. It's just straight time. It's that and communists and Big Pharma. That's who they support. Anybody who watches CBC News, your brain must be really twisted after a while of that, because they don't tell any truth at all. They just support their own agendas, which are nothing really to support. It's all about trans and gay people and trans kids now. They want to turn all the kids into trans kids. Let's chop their genitals off and get them into surgery. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Communists and lunatics. That's what they are. And CTV and Global News, they just support the Liberal Party. That's who pays them. The Liberal, that's who pays CBC as well. They give CBC, I think it's billions of dollars. I think was it $6 billion or something? Or is it $6 million? I can't remember if it's $6 million or billion. Maybe it's only $6 million, but still, whatever it is, Justin Trudeau got up and bragged about how the CBC gives the Liberal Party an easy time when they talk about them. And people are wondering, what's the reason that the CBC is so kind to you guys? Well, there's actually 6 million reasons why they're so kind to us, because we paid them to be. And he says it right out to this big group of people. He just says it right in public. CBC is kind to us because we pay them to be. We pay them to say that. What a thing to admit. So in other words, it's garbage. They're just saying it because they get paid to say it. And he admits that. It's a very famous clip. Everyone has seen that pretty much. That's what he did. He just totally admitted it. It's either million or billion. It might be billion. It's a lot of money that he gives them, or used to give them. I guess it'd be Mark Carney doing it now, but it'd be the same thing. He'll pay them right to the hilt to make sure that they just keep saying good things about him. But when you're watching news that's been paid by the politicians in power, what's the good of watching the news? Do you think they're going to tell you anything bad about the people that pay them? I mean, people aren't very bright when they sit there and they watch that news. They know the Liberal Party has been forking over the money like crazy, and they sit there and listen to what the news has to say. Why would you bother? You can't understand that if somebody comes in here and says, look, I'm going to give you $10,000 to make a video. And in that video, I want you to say, trans surgery is excellent. Everybody should get this is gender affirming care and go get surgery and blah, blah, blah. I'll give you 10 grand. Okay. If I actually take the 10 grand and make the video, can you believe me? If you know that somebody paid me 10 grand to do that, does it look like I really support that kind of surgery, or is it maybe just because somebody just handed me $10,000 to do that? It's not a hard equation to solve. It's pretty, right? And that's what we're doing every day when we watch the mainstream media. We're watching paid mouthpieces who don't mean a word they say, and they're just saying it because they've been paid to. So bravo to the independent media. There's so many of them too. There's Kim Iverson, and there's just a ton of journalists who used to be mainstream who said screw that and went independent and have been speaking truth. That's why they left the mainstream media, because they wanted to speak truth and they weren't allowed to on the networks they were on. They had to support the agenda of that network, whatever that was, whoever was paying them, right? If it's Big Pharma paying them, or if it's a leftist political party paying them, or whoever it is, You got to go with that agenda, and you're not allowed to stray from it. So, yeah, my cats are definitely wound up. So I will leave it there, but I just want to give this shout out to the independent journalists out there who are fighting the good fight and speaking truth. Way to go. Keep on doing it. The people need you. We all need you, and I commend you for everything you've done, because now the world is starting to hear some truth. I never thought that would ever happen with the media the way it was, the journalists. There's not hardly a real journalist out there in the mainstream. They have these gotcha questions that they interview people with, and they twist everything around. They selective edit. They'll edit certain things out but leave other things in and make it look like the person said something else. And unbelievable tactics, things that you should have your rights of being a journalist taken away once you've done this stuff. Or you should at least be taken to court and sued, which some of them do get sued, but they generally slip out of that too, which really upsets me. I'd like to see them pay the price for the things they do when they smear people. Absolutely terrible how they get an assignment. This person, go smear them. Go make sure their reputation is shot by next week. And they've got, 6 ways from Sunday to do that. They just probably go down their list. Which one? We got this kind of smear, this kind of smear. Oh, I think we'll go with this one. And then they implement it, and the next thing, the person's reputation's shot, their wife is leaving them. All because some journalist was told to go do that. Go do a hit piece on him. Ruin his reputation, even though he didn't do any of this stuff. Make it look like he did. Pathetic. If you make your money doing that, you should be ashamed of yourself, whoever you are. I'm sure nobody watching this probably does, but the people who do that for a living and knowingly smear people when it's not true, when they're just making stuff up, that is one of the most shameful things. You really need to pay a price for that. That's an awful thing. I've had my reputation damaged like that, but a bunch of lies, and I know what it feels like. So anyway, I will leave it there. Just wanted to commend all the independent journalists out there, the independent media. Way to go. Keep it up. And that's it. Thanks for watching. And remember that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, the Lord of Lords, and the King of Kings.